Hello there. I have to first apologize. Well, first of all, hello. Welcome to Live Through Distorted Linds. This is your host, Lindsay. I sincerely apologize for not putting a podcast out the last 2 weeks. You likely didn't even notice, but something's going on in my life that I'm not going to disclose just yet that has knocked me on my ass. So again, I feel terrible about not being able to update you guys unless I actually put in a podcast episode out, because I have some Subscribestar subscribers that I told on there, and Twitter, and I believe my Instagram. But if you don't follow me on any of those platforms, you're probably like, "What? Where did our podcast go? What's going on?" Because this is the first time I have not recorded consecutively like that. The first time I've missed a week. And on top of that, 2 weeks in a row, my podcasting is my life. So my whole life has been upheaved, but it's a good thing. Anyway, I'll tell you guys eventually. You're probably, never mind, I can't say anything because I'm going to give it away. Anyway, I'm just going to do some short snippet updates on the insanity of the world that Juno really has an opinion on. Shushi, please. No, silence. Randomness. I'm just gonna be all over the place. So I know you guys know that I've talked about mind polluters and whose children are they? And one of them, whose children are they? Was that the one? Yeah, whose children are they? Was actually shown in a really nice movie theater locally. God, what is it, Kat? And I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, there's this whole world of kind of independent films put out that, it's not surprising though when I think about it. It's just I've been so glued into the Hollywood only movie diet where I didn't realize that un-Hollywood films and documentaries exist outside of that, which, that's a thing. So there's this group, or not group, but just I guess publishing house called fathomevents.com. There's another movie coming out. They seem to do a lot of Christian, which I guess you can consider conservative-leaning people more Christian, obviously, like pro-life stuff and just protecting children. I don't know, logical things that 5 or 10 years ago would not be considered right-wingy white supremacy, which I'm just saying that obviously sarcastically because that's a joke, just even saying that in and of itself. You guys get where I'm going with that quote joke there. But there's a movie called No Vacancy. It's about a jaded reporter is demoted to a rural news station, but her cynicism is slowly transformed when she befriends a recovering addict as she works a story about a church struggling to purchase a motel for homeless families based on a true story. And I was drawn to this, or even it came on my radar, because I follow Dean Cain on Twitter, because I'm sure I've told you guys, but my husband and I are really enjoying watching Lois and Clark. One, because it's extremely, extremely corny. I don't know what time they aired this TV show on when it first, was airing, I guess, in the 90s. But it seems to be daytime drama. And it's just so corny, and the effects are hilarious. But I love it because Dean Cain, I don't know if he's always been a Christian man, but he just seems to be the most, genuine, sweetest guys. And it really shines through in his acting. And Terry Hatcher is obviously an icon herself, even though back in the day I thought she was always really weird looking, but she's unique for sure. Really skinny, but some people are ectomorphs. I think that's what it's called. There's that scale of people's bodies that you are either naturally this or you're not. Ectomorph, mesomorph, I don't know. We just look it up. It's ectomorph is you're insanely skinny and you're just naturally that way. One of them's you're apple shaped or pear shaped. I don't know. It's a thing. Like Doug Jones, who was that. He does all his crazy acting gigs, like The Shape of Water, that creature. He's super tall and extremely thin, very awkward, lanky guy, but he always gets cast as these crazy creatures in movies, and I love him for that. Great actor. He's in Hellboy. Anyway, so that sounds like an interesting movie, No Vacancy. And there's another one. Also, he was in a film called... Oh, I forgot what it's called. Crap, let me look it up. Dean Cain abortion movie. I think I heard about this movie from Calvary San Jose originally. Oh, Gosnell, The Trial of America's Biggest Serial Killer. And that's spelled Gosnell. And I actually bought the movie. and it's pretty freaking sick about this man who's so just deranged and would perform abortions in an extremely disgusting, beyond unsanitary setting with like dead babies' bodies and bags. It's disgusting, and I was just really drawn to that movie and wanted to watch it because I'm like, whoa, a big time actor that I vividly recall from the 90s is doing a film that is like, pro-life, and if you want to be a not a pro-lifer, call it anti-abortion. I just don't like using the word anti with anything. I'm like, I'm not, because it just sounds like I'm a bad guy. Like, no matter what it is, I'm anti whatever. It's like a scapegoat or whatever the word is, where it's like a gotcha. Like, I just don't like using that, because then they'll go, aha, see, yeah, you're anti. I'm like, no, really, I'm not. Pro-life, huge difference. Yeah, I was just, I was like, oh, what is this film? Dean Cain did a film about the horrors of abortion. What the heck, really? And that opened my eyes up, really started to open my eyes up to this, like I said, other world of movies out there that is not satanic Hollywood. And I think from what I'm observing, Fathom Events puts out a lot of those movies. Another one that I'm seeing on this website is called The Matter of Life, which is in theaters Monday, May 16th and 17th. Yeah, they also, when the movies get released, they're only out for like a day or two. And it says, we stand at a critical point in history where the legality of abortion is being challenged in the highest courts. More than ever, it is important for everyone to know where they stand on abortion and why. And for me personally, growing up, I just never thought a thing about abortion because I was a good little girl and didn't do the whole sex thing. Then I was finally like, whatever, fuck it, I don't know, why not? Which was stupid. Of course, wound up being like a whole mistake. I like met this guy, wound up, I guess, dating from, I think, Friendster, dude, and he was the biggest creep, like predator, or just like, I don't know, gross. Like, I would be married, and he, every year, or like I don't know if it was a year, every month, he would send me a message on Facebook Messenger with like, hey, just a hey. And it got to a point where he did it like so often that it was just a thread of hey, like, obviously with like months spanning between the times he would say that. And I know what this guy's after. I'm like, what a fucking creep. Like, I'm married, dude. Gross. I'm so glad I got Facebook. Anyway, tangent. Where my stance was on abortion. So you guys know, it's funny how I fall into these groups or ideologies or whatever, and I fall like really hard into it, and I guess it's like a way for me to like, I'm not sure what it is actually. I honestly don't know. I was gonna say for you to find my identity. I don't. Maybe that's it, but I'm pretty confident in myself now with rediscovering God. Not that He's ever left me, but I did the whole feminist thing. And I was like, yeah, this is great. Women's rights. A lot of this is true. A lot of, women in the world and throughout history have been abused by men and taken advantage of, and we get the short end of the stick. And I really bought into all of it, though. Like, even to the point where, I was defending homosexuality, and I hardcore do not agree with that. You can do what you want with your life, but I'm not the one to judge about that, but, I do not agree with that even remotely. But on that same topic, it's just the abortion thing. There's all these things floating around, our opinions about abortion being like, my body, my choice. And I'd be like, yeah, that does make sense. It's a woman's body. What the heck? And then I'm like, well, my entire life I've kind of always known that it's not good, but I just, kind of like brush it to the side and was like, yay, feministy. And, oh no, I have this podcast, and a lot of these followers I had, or maybe even still have, I seriously doubt that, but if you are here, that's awesome, that are feminists. You fall into a role, me as a podcaster, and I'm like, oh, I'm at the time, I guess, radical feminist. Not that I ever really, I did call one of my episodes that, and it's still there called that. And I did make a t-shirt about radical feminism, but I was very cautious about doing that, even though I did do that, because I'm like, I don't like labels, because lo and behold, if you don't hold up to the 10 tenets of radical feminism, which there literally is like a list, which I don't like doing any of that. I don't like becoming part of any group where you have to follow these rules. I'm like, that sounds like a cult first off, but And one of them, I read, and it was your pro-abortion. And I was like, yo, that doesn't even make sense. If I consider myself a Christian, why would I be pro killing a baby? Like, I don't care. Like, it's just, hey there. One of the easiest and free things you can do to help out my podcast is to leave a Apple Podcast review for this podcast. It is free, pretty effortless. It takes, I don't know, less than a minute out of your day. If you don't want to do that, you can support my podcast by heading to paypal.me/LP Foster Kittens, or become a monthly subscriber to my Subscribestar, which is subscribestar.com/distorted lens. As always, thank you so much for listening and following me on Odyssey or YouTube, subscribing, hitting the bell, because I've been told that hitting the bell helps out a lot with getting notified that I'm even posting new content. So God bless y'all, and let's keep trucking on, y'all. Life begins at conception. You are made in the perfect image of God. It's not a mistake that you get pregnant. God works in very mysterious ways, and in ways that, a lot of times you're like, oh, I don't want to do it that way. Like, that's not how I want to do it. I want to take control and change the situation for my benefit, for me, I'm a human, disregarding anyone else's life. It's like my body, my choice. What about the baby's body? Like, calling it a fetus. It's like, oh, it's a clump of cells. I'm like, but like it began. It began like as soon as that, those chromosomes. I'm not sure of the terminology, but whenever those chromosomes reach together, like, it's a done deal. Bing bang. Like, it's the train is chugging along. You're not gonna be able to stop that one. It's absurd, and I just think it's a way for people to cope and lie to themselves about the reality of it. And I know I've talked about abortion before, but that was one of the biggest things. Like I was saying about feminism, that made me go, am I a feminist? Like, I'm not really agreeing with this, and I think it was a huge blessing, really, that I got suspended from Twitter, and I had a decent sized following. And I was like, oh no, my goodness, it happened. And then I got kicked off Patreon, and Etsy was being disgusting, because they took down my listing of adult human female pen, which is absurd. And I was they called it like hate speech and segregation. And I was like, segregation, what? It was so weird, the wording of it. Anyway, I just got removed from really all these feminist outlets, and it wound up being a huge blessing, because I really started a new, I don't want to say life, that sounds corny, a new, really, who you surround yourself by. And even on the internet, people are like always like, oh, the internet isn't real. I'm like, yeah, the internet really is real, though. If you're on the internet, it is literally influencing you every day. So whatever you surround yourself with, like whoever you follow, will literally influence your life. Like, whatever they're posting, whatever images they're, posting, positive, negative, distracting, funny, whatever it is, like, that is going to influence your life. So it does impact your life. So I did have to start anew, and I started following a lot of conservative accounts at that time with the new account. And, I guess people probably that are like skeptic are like, well, yeah, if you're following conservative accounts, of course you would be anti-abortion. You're just falling for another group. I'm like, no, this one feels 100% right. And I don't even like to identify with Republicans at all. I do go to some local meetings, but I just like doing that because I like to be involved in the community, and I see it more like that. Like, I don't trust Republicans or Democrats. I think they're both beyond skeezy. I hate politics, but I do care about local stuff. Like, the Republican groups here fight for local farming stuff, and one lady's fighting for something about how she has oil on her landing, which she wants to get it removed, and it's just all this like scandalous stuff. I want to interview her, by the way, but at some point. Like I said, it's a miracle I'm even doing this right now and recording this and have the energy. I don't know where I was going with all this, but, it was, I learned a lot through the feminist thing, and I don't regret it at all. And I'm not, and all I see with those women is that they're really damaged, and I really, 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 really feel for them. Whether it's a father that abused them, a boyfriend that abused them, a male figure that neglected them, or even just one boyfriend that was a piece of shit. Like, it's so easy to fall into that trap and be like, all men should die. Like, that was also maybe turn me off to it. I found that with the younger generation, like the Tumblr kids, high schoolers, possibly even middle school, they were even more vicious with the like, men don't have opinions, fuck all men. Like it was just like it was absurd. I was like, that's insane. Like, I don't agree with that at all. Of course, there are shitty misogynistic men out there, and it's pretty common. I don't know about pretty common, but it's definitely, well, I'll say common, but it's not fair to like lump all these people together. Like, there's this thing on the internet. There's a lot of anti-Semites like on Gab, but then I'm like, well, there's a lot of anti-Semites everywhere on the internet, and they're just like, I guess it's so easy for people to come to a conclusion about, oh, Jewish people are bad because they own a lot of things. Like, I'm sure a lot of BlackRock and Vanguard peeps are Jewish. A lot of evil Hollywood people are Jewish. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean all Jewish people are freaking evil, dude. It's just like a lazy way to I don't know, come to a conclusion. I feel like just because something's a fact does not mean that it's like all people, like all whatever it may be. Like, do a lot of is the majority or the high number of crime and rape, or I don't know about rape, but I'd say more crime and shoplifting and whatnot, which is the same thing. Excuse me, done by black people? Yes. Does that mean all black people are terrible human beings? No. It's just such an idiotic thing to say. Excuse me, Lord. It's like the same thing with like white people. Like, are a lot of conservative white men like misogynistic pieces of shit? Yeah. That doesn't mean like they're all shitty. It's like, sorry, you don't want to hear that, but anyway, God, that was a huge tangent, which is good. So I don't know. Let's talk about that right now. Okay, I will. Let's see. I got to get my mind focused on this. So I've never watched Glee, but there's a documentary called I Love You Now Die on HBO, because Lord knows HBO and Hulu and all these streaming apps love to create, like, they're obsessed with horror and death and satanic stuff and seances and inverting things like nuns that are like satanic and stuff. Like, oh, I can't believe I used to be drawn to those movies. It's freaking creepy. Like, I used to be obsessed with Clockwork Orange in high school. Obsessed. My mom is so disturbed by that. She's like, that book is about like rape and stuff. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, Mom. I want to know what in my mind, like what, I think it was just me like rebelling, honestly, and being like, whoa, I know this is bad. And my mom is not loving me the way I wanted to be loved, or that would have been, not even my love language, just feeling like they accepted me. So I'm going to rebel and like the stuff that I know is bad. I just think it's that. But anyway, thank God I got past that. It's just crazy how much dark stuff I've dabbled with in my life. And it's a huge blessing that God has delivered me, and I'm living my life now, just being awake. So God is awesome. And yeah, I feel like I haven't done a testimony podcast, and I have not gone there yet and recorded that, because I know it's going to be so difficult, because my life has been up and down and the depths of hell, and it's just a really personal thing. But I really want to, because I know how incredibly powerful testimonies are, and how, you can talk about other people and like, Jesus is great and Satan's bad, to the high heavens, but it's really true that people's own stories will change the world. And it's just that human connection thing when you get real about something, which I pride my podcast on being real and not having like a strict format or anything, just going with it. I think people really resonate with that. So anyway, the whole Glee thing, the documentary is about this girl who was watching the show Glee, and she was so depressed and just mentally ill that she started to emulate and copy one of the female characters in that show, down to like texting her boyfriend exactly what the girl texted to her boyfriend in the TV show. And I thought about my life, and I was like, I've totally done some weird shit like that, where people use movies or TV shows, cinema, to replace the misery in their life with like something that's not real and make it, make their own reality. I remember I was obsessed with Audrey Hepburn, and this is so embarrassing. Not, it's not embarrassing. It's just weird. I think it's intriguing, and I know that there are people out there like this. Of course, I was probably drunk, and there's a scene in what is that famous one that she did? Oh my lord, like one of her most famous ones where she has a cat. Aud oh, Audrey Hepburn, movie famous? I don't know. It's the most. Come on, Breakfast at Tiffany's, probably. Anyway, where it's a scene where she goes outside and it's like in the rain and she's like, "Cat, cat, where are you?" And I literally did that when I couldn't find my cat at home. But in my mind, I was like imitating her from the movie. Like, I'm sure this is not uncommon. I'm sure people have done this. And I haven't done it. I haven't gone to serial killer levels with it. But anyway, back to I Love You, Now Die. So that was crazy. And she basically, spoiler alert, she convinced her boyfriend to kill himself, which is so messed up. But then like, you would think that she'd be super guilty, but honestly, she was so messed up as well. And I'm not saying that she's innocent, because it's horrible, but people just do, I don't know. Anyway, so there's this incredible article that I just happened to, click into about Glee, and it's talking all about how, let me find it. It's on I had it. I thought I had it pulled up. Glee. Anyway, it's going to be somewhere, damn it. I know I hate doing pauses like this. Oh, there it is. It's a pretty long article, but if you're bored, it's actually a really nice read. You can skip the first half because he talks about just what the characters are like. But basically, Glee turned a generation of kids, they're probably now in their 20s, into like social activists because it became a thing where like in the show, it's like they filled every quota possible, like the gay kid, the black person, the Asian, the it's like all the unpopular kids of school. And of course, like if you're unpopular and you're watching that show, you're gonna feel connected to one of the characters because they did fill that quota of like you'll basically find a character on that TV show that you can connect with and be like, oh hey, that's like me. Therefore, I love this person. Therefore, I want to emulate this person, possibly. But so the people, it just turned into a Tumblr craze where teenagers would be like, oh, this character should have been written this way this week, or yeah, I love this, but then other people would be like, no, I hated that. So it just turned into like an absolute hate fest with Glee fans, to a sense that it really ignited the youth's minds about becoming social activists in general. And I was like, dude, that is fascinating and creepy, and it just makes total sense. I'll put all these links in my show notes. Hopefully I'll remember to do that because half the time I say that and I don't do it. But I definitely will because I have these links pulled up. It's a really good article. I really enjoyed it. And it's not often I read articles that are that long too. So, and then there's this image that, unfortunately I can't confirm because I haven't watched it, even though I will admit I use my sister's Disney account because all I want to watch sometimes is just cute animal documentaries, which I know is like terrible and I shouldn't be watching it because Disney is disgusting. But I'm like, I don't want to watch anything that's going to piss me off. I just want to watch cute, cuddly animals, which Disney has a lot of that, like National Geographic stuff. Anyway, so I saw a thumbnail of The Simpsons, and like I guess Disney does shorts now or something, or like snippets, kind of like how Pixar did, which I guess shorts is like the thing now, which is basically short form videos for people that have zero attention span because everyone has less attention span now because of the internet and the smartphone, which has been the destruction of humanity. Anyway, it's an image, and so it's Billie Eilish, cartoonized with Lisa on top of a car, it looks like, and it says, Billie says, "Does your dad support you with music?" to Lisa, and Lisa goes, "If you give him enough beers and earplugs and tell him to go somewhere else, no, he doesn't support me." And then the image is literally, first of all, there's that, and then there's 3 images of Homer buying a saxophone for Lisa, listening to Lisa play the saxophone in her bedroom, just supporting her throughout her music life, which is like, it's so sad that with this wokeism and whatnot, they're able to rewrite history because who's going to go back and watch the old episodes? I don't think a lot of the, like if you're watch a lot of the movies in Hollywood are remade films from like the 70s and 60s. I can't think of an example right now, but like literally half of them, man. And I don't realize it either myself until I go and Google a movie to be like, oh, where was this filmed? And I'm like, holy shit, there was a previous one from the 60s, and I had no idea. People, So what I mean by that is like, people are not going to be looking at the older episodes, likely, where they'll fact check it. They'll just be like, oh, yeah, this dad sucks. Like a lot of times they make the dad in movies be like stupid, gullible, and whatnot, which is terrible. Anyway, just like the fall. They're just trying to destroy families, clearly. I'm getting tired. I saved these images and they're too tiny, so I'm going to have to find these here. Okay, give me a second. So there's quite a few apps that you should be aware of if you're a parent or not a parent. There it is. Okay. And some of these I'm sure you might already know, but, I think it's important to really be aware of the evils out there, especially with the frickin' phone. First of all, I don't believe any child should have a phone until they're past the age of 18, and I hardcore believe that. And I also believe that with the computer, unless it's supervised. Anyway, one of them is called Meet Me, is a dating social media app that allows users to connect with people based on their geographic proximity. As the app's name suggests, users are encouraged to meet each other in person. WhatsApp is a popular messaging app that allows users to send texts, photos, voicemails, make calls, and video chats worldwide. WhatsApp uses an internet connection on smartphones and computers. Apparently this image was put out by Sarasota, like a sheriff's office, which is interesting because they're trying to warn people. What, apps that parents should know about, because I think a lot of them are, obviously they're warning about sex trafficking and child abuse. Bumble is similar to the dating app Tinder. You guys probably know that one. Grindr is a dating app geared towards gay, bi, and transgender people. The app gives users opinions to chat, share photos, and meet up based on a smartphone GPS location, which is terrible. TikTok, which is, I think, just so awful and destroying youth on a large scale, is a new mobile device, blah, blah, blah. Very limited privacy controls. Users are vulnerable to cyberbullying and explicit content. Yeah, and mind control. Snapchat is one of the most popular apps in recent years. While the app promises users can take a photo and video, it will disappear. New features, including stories, allows users to view content for up to 24 hours. I think it says they're cut off, though. Scout, S-K-O-U-T, is a location-based dating app and website. While users under 17 years old are unable to share private photos, kids can easily create an account using a different age. Terrible. Badoo is a dating and social networking app where users can chat, share photos and videos, and connect based on location. While the app is intended for adults only, teens are known to create profiles. These are terrible apps because they're literally creating a new world of just ease for predators. Like, oh, I know where you are, cool. Kik allows anyone to contact and direct message your child. Kids can bypass traditional text messaging features. Kik gives users unlimited access to anyone, anywhere, anytime. Let's see. Discord is a voice and text chat tool that allows gamers to communicate in real time. It doesn't have, by the way, it's not just gamers, it's anyone, which I used to be obsessed with Discord. It was really sad part of my life. Users can chat, add friends one-on-one or in larger groups. This app discusses content geared towards adults, but allows users as young as 13. You guys know I was involved with Just Dance, and I joined a Just Dance group on there that wasn't official. Doesn't really matter. But it was all young kids, and it was the most vile, vicious, disgusting group of people I have but I was just like, holy shit. Like, Just Dance is like you would think homely, like, yay, fun times dancing thing, but it's wild what social media does to people. Chatus is a messaging app that allows users to chat and share images. This app makes it easy for predators to engage in age-inappropriate conversations with potential victims. YouTube. Okay, House Party is a group video chat app that allows users to communicate via live video, chat, and texts. There is no screening, and the video is live. Oh God! Users can also communicate with people they don't know. That's terrible. It's called House Party. Whisper is a social network that allows users to share secrets anonymously, and it reveals a user's location so strangers can meet? This is horrible. Dear Lord in heaven. Live.me allows users to live stream videos using geolocation to share the videos so other users can find the broadcaster's exact location. Users can earn coins to pay miners for photos? Oh my god. Coins, obviously in-app coins. Calculator percentage sign. I was like, oh my god, what is that called? Calculator percent, it's literally called calculator with the percentage sign after it, is one of the several vault style apps that appears to be a harmless app, but it is used to hide photos, videos, files, and even browser history. That is ultra creepy because it looks like a calculator app, but it's totally not that. Yikes. Bumble, which already y'all know, it's a dating app, requires women to make their first contact. It is common for minors to use this app and falsify their age. Again, no child should have a freaking phone or a computer at all, period. No excuse. I don't give a shit. Oh, they really want to watch it with their friends? I don't care. Have some cojones or something. Give me a break. You're the parent. Yubo is a social media app that allows users as young as 13 to create a profile, share their location, view other users' profiles in their area, and view live streams. Substance use, profanity, racial slurs, and scantily clad people are common. WhatsApp, Tinder, Tumblr, yeah. Tumblr is also, as I think the beginning of the destruction of children's minds really began with DeviantArt, Tumblr, and Snapchat. I don't know. The progression of these apps when they came out, to be honest. But Tumblr and DeviantArt were really the, I think, OG mind polluters. Monkey is an app that allows users as young as 12 to chat with people all over the world during a brief introductory call. Then users are given the chance to add each other on Snapchat. What the So I don't have as much. I don't have energy to finish what I want to talk about. The rest was just actually that's pretty much it. But so I again apologize for not letting you guys know, but there was a reason, and you guys will find out eventually. Probably you'll have to follow me on social media, but I hope I'll be able to update you guys weekly and still do the podcast weekly. I can't give you any promises, though, with that, just because every day is so incredibly different for me in my life for the past, since March. So I love you guys, and I miss you guys, and I want you to know that I sincerely care about my listeners, and I really, again, probably apologizing for the fourth time. You can support my work on, I probably shouldn't say this because my ending video audio thing is the same thing that I'm about to do, which is like what I'm saying, but it doesn't hurt. You can support me monthly at subscribestar.com/distortedlens, or just leave me a one-time donation with however much money you want through paypal.me/LP Foster Kittens. And the best thing you can do that is absolutely friggin' free is leave me a review on Apple Reviews. It would mean the world to me, and just do it. It's not hard to do, honestly. Just be like, cool podcast. I really enjoyed it. Thanks. You don't even have to, I don't think you even need to write a review. I think you can just tap the 5-star thing. I think it goes through. I'm not entirely sure though, but it's literally effortless, and it would mean a lot. Plus I love reading y'all's comments. Actually, I'm going to go, anyway, so God bless you guys and ladies and girls and men. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, I think it's summer now, and having a wonderful spring. And hang in there, just read the Bible, do not lean on your own understanding, but lean on Jesus, because he will always be there for you. And if you don't know him, just pray. Be like, dude, I don't know you. I have no idea if I want to know you. Whatever you want to, however you're going to say it. You can be as skeptical as you want. God is always going to listen. Just be like, hey, help me out here. I don't know what I'm doing. Just talk like you. Just be truthful, Anyway, so until next time, party people. Hey there, thanks so much for listening to this podcast and making it this far into it. You can support my podcast and what I do many ways. Head to my website, which is lindsayplatoshinart.com/shop. There's all sorts of goodies you can buy there on my website, like the Skeptic Pin, the Adult Human Female Pin, the Adult Human Male Pin. There's all sorts of embroidery goodies and crafty goodies that I make myself that you can support by purchasing these items. Or head to mysubscribestar.com/distorted lens and become a rational revolutioneer, where you can support my podcast with a monthly subscription. Or head to paypal.me/LP Foster Kittens, where you can leave a one-time donation or multiple, however you want to do it. A free way to help out this podcast is to share this podcast on social media with your friends, or leave a Apple Podcast review, which just head to Apple Podcasts, scroll down, leave a 5-star review, and write up a little comment. Thank you so much for supporting my podcast in whatever way you're able to support it. Until next time, party people.